you meet so many guys?
I think there's all kinds of remedies, and now that you've talked about people partying more on weekdays, you've come up with a remedy for looking fresh at work the next day after having a very long night in the club, or, you know.
Cool. I don't think that's for me. I think it's for pals just to encourage the party nights. So like then that's more material and more people
when
just
you wake
with
up
us and stuff.
Eat a lemon or something like that. And
something like that.
There's so many remedies.
That's money for someone. That's an industry right there.
Yeah.
But again, on page 4, where we have head-to-head, we see 2 hip-hop guys who had gone apart.
Yeah.
They're back together.
Now they're back together. And you know, one of the party here is Agano. He had an accident a couple of years ago, which affected him a little bit, and now they're back together.
Labala had issues with himself and health and family, and they seem to have gotten back to themselves, and they're just doing head-to-head, just exposing the worst, or the weakest bit of each other.
I guess now it's for pulses to decide who wins in this head-to-head.
Who wins the battle, the hip-hop battle.
All right, who exactly did Churchill slap?
Well, I think we are getting there, because that's,
like, by the way,
that's a juicy one for that's a juicy one for before the end.
Oh, wow.
I was just thinking about the court out and amazing things, like you were saying. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yes.
But what happens around Pulse comes out. So there you are, amazing stuff. And I won't go towards the ratchet story that Peter is talking about, but you see stuff really ratchet here. And I like the fashion cop, last photo there.
Oh, I think it's time for people to know what they wear and need to be ready, because I can see some really eye and
the
face
middle
crunching.
picture there.
The middle picture right there.
Whoa.
How did she get herself out of the house?
But you know, the funny thing is sometimes it doesn't look so bad out of camera. We only spot it in the pulse. And the pulse really does it.
You know, when it's happening, there's not too much light. But when your cameras flash, then it's something else. And of course, the picture on the right, whatever happens in darkness.
Yeah, this is Masaku. It's something like Masaku.
This is Masaku.
Not to be seen in the light.
No, actually, it's just pulsers having a good time, and then it's called here at the gym.
So
you can see this dance.
Could you be caught being that #1 guy who went through the fence like Sangeng, like I almost lost everything as I was coming?
But even more provocative pictures at the extreme right.
Yes.
At the gym.
I mean, at the gym, yes.
Are those like aerobics or?
This is the gym. I don't know what the instructor had in mind.
This is the remedy of
a lot to build your biceps.
This is actually should be the remedy of staying sober the next day.
Oh yeah.
This guy, you'll never find him sleeping the next day.
Good thing. Pulsers are just happening.
After a good workout.
Rhyme is good. Wonderful. The spotlight right there. Good friend.
Kevin Provoke.
Yeah.
A very good producer. No, I knew him way back when he was part of a 3-man group called Vaccine.
Right.
He used to rap back in the day. Now he's a producer, a very good producer, very vocal and very controversial as well. He's been speaking out, and now he's gotten a chance to actually try his stunt at Coke Studio, and so he's talking about the whole experience.
Just coming back from Hollywood.
Yes, where he done is it a seminar? Producers, top producers.
Yes, it was. But Mkala also brings out some issues around it, and because this is Pulse.
Yes.
And he's talking about all the little controversies around him and the rapper Wangeshi. Was also another big time.
Yeah, you know, there were allegations that they had something outside the studio.
They happened.
So like they happened.
All right. So I just want to know, how popular do artists get, say, when they're doing music in the United Kingdom or in the US, and they are Kenyan? How popular do they get? Because are they in sync with their audiences back home or with their fans back home?
It probably comes down to marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's music. Music is global, so it just depends on how well do you, or how sufficiently do you market and distribute your music. So it's global. And I don't think people really look at where are you coming from, or it's a content that you're putting on the table. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Interesting.
So that they are talking about each other, and he says, hey, me and Wangeshi do not happen beyond the studio. So they happen in the studio.
Just in studio. So it's work things.
Good stuff. And I say Smita is back.
Yes.
Amazing read there.
Awesome.
After 3 weeks away in Germany.
Germany. and he actually had to, he experienced the German machine
himself, and he's a great fan of those guys.
Yeah, with his beer kegs.
Yep. And there's an amazing story, just a little bit ahead, but they're just moving to the cover story again. Cast on Couch's Couch. A great story again by Austin, a guy who has an eye for the film industry, really connected, and he just goes down to see what happens around the film industry.
Yes.
And the many challenges that behind the scenes that we
this is basically what we don't see. You see, when we have actors on screen, there's a face to it.
So what is behind the scenes?
So what he's trying to unearth here, he's saying that they are cast on coaches on the couch. So before casting, you know, there's some stuff that goes on.
Yeah, the stuff that goes on.
You're coached before you cast.
Ah, no, you're not coached, but
you're
coached
by the coach.
By the coach.
Yeah.
Great story. Isn't it as amazing that again, and it's a two-way thing, because he says it's not just those guys, the directors and whoever is trying to get the talent out there who is doing this, but also those guys who want to join in the industry and the big roles in the movies. Some of them are willing just to go through this initiation.
Yeah.
But do they have to go through that? You see,
no, they don't
that's
have
the point.
to.
Because we have very good actors and actresses, and for them to make it big in the industry, you know, they feel like they have to do a lot of, you know, bending low for people just because, you know, they want to get to the top. Do you think that the urge to get to the top is what pushes them to do this?
I think it's just a culture of self-disbelief, because really, if I have talent and the world wants my talent, like somebody says, like I'll give you a good example, our good Lupita. She's an amazing actress. She's an amazing producer. She did all the hustling in Kenya. Our movies were getting big here, and she goes to the land of milk and honey and hits it big. I mean, she didn't have to really impress nobody to get there. So sometimes it's just about self-belief. Why do you have to go through such a demeaning ritual really to get yourself to this level? And I think that's one of the biggest problems again we have in the film industry. And we're saying this when Kalasha is coming in around the corner. And you're just thinking, where are we as an industry? Do we have people we can pinpoint and say, that's a great talent that we need to nurture as an industry and things like that?
Basically what we're saying is dreams are valid not only in the bed,
but also in talent.
You can just follow your dreams.
All right, but what actually provokes this? Like, what game plan, what is the vibe that these so-called producers and directors use normally when they're dealing with talent?
It's dictatorial.
With actors and actresses.
It's dictatorial. There's no vibe. Like, do you want the job?
I'll make you big.
Can I count you?
Like terms and conditions apply.
I'll make you big. And I just like the quote that is cut out the story. It says, many of these girls would go to the extent of seducing their producers, and it is only when the producer does not keep to the end bargain and blah 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 that they just want to say, he wanted to do all this to me.
There's even blackmail.
In places like Hollywood, you know, someone would even record a video just to keep it and say, look, if I don't get this role, you're in big trouble because I'm going to expose you. Yeah, but then I don't know if that happens here, where we have a lot of people blackmailing the producers and directors and stuff.
I think what would happen is if you try to blackmail before you are nobody, then nobody will listen to you.
Yeah. And actually just close by in Nigeria, it's just about the same thing, you know.
A lot of that is going on. It's true. It's true. So great story. Austin Okande
has nailed
Let's talk about the fashion here.
Oh, yeah.
There's a great pictorial in today's Pulse as well. The attitude is what is coming out the most, dressing up or down.
I like the attitude that's coming out of this page. And going all the way to the Meister, Yemi coming out with big attitude. But let's talk about this. You like fashion.
Well, I think I'm loving the whole fact that, you know, this lady here seems to be so versatile. She can almost wear just about anything. The colors, she loves bold colors, I think, and that's the butter shoe shine. Yes. I guess that's what she's calling it.
Butter shoe shine. Amazing shoes from these guys. Who knew that we would get really trendy stuff from Bata. Back in the day when we just knew Bata was just the shoes for school. We even used to think, why am I be taken there to buy that?
Dude,
we only used to see Bata in January.
Those shoes used to last. It would even get to a point you're like, I need a new pair of shoes. I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to slice them somewhere.
How do I convince somebody? But good attitude from there. And I just like the whole idea, because the idea was how do you combine all the shoes and the dress just to look cool and stuff. And the girl, like you say, has real attitude. And I don't know which of these Solo would pick for a date on a Bata shoe.
Well.
It's an evening.
The shoes are good. All the Bata shoes are awesome here, I guess.
What would Joe wear? I don't know.
Well, if I was going on a date with Solo, I don't know. I'm actually thinking maybe the first bold red. You know, red never goes wrong, no matter how you put it on or no matter what you blend it with. It never goes wrong. So either the first or the last one.
The first one looks like Solo would have to spend some little more money than
but the last one looks like we are going from Sakusa.
A lot happening.
That's what I'm saying. It would depend on the day. If it's probably a funky evening, we'll probably do the
second last would be Meru 7.
This is Meru 7 or Brazil.
And what about the middle, the one at the center?
She's laid back. This could be a Sunday evening, if you'd ask me. We do this for blankets.
Oh sure.
Just blankets and wine.
Not so extreme, not so laid back. But we just
some nice flat, comfortable shoes.
Wow.
I love the shoes actually. The whole animal print there looks very cool, especially with the top that she's wearing. It all blends in. Very, very cool.
All the girls just pick the pulse, get that page. As the boyfriend or with your little money, just go to Bata and get these shoes clear.
True. So Pulse caught up with Yemi.
Yemi Alade,
the lady who's
Miss
looking for Johnny.
She came to Kenya. She was there like 2 weeks ago. She looked for Johnny. I don't think she got a Johnny, but she is talking about her style. With Joki.
She calls it Afropolitan, a modern blend of African prints and Western designs. I think I love her style. I don't know about the music video though.
The music video.
I love the creativity in the story, but I don't know about her designs in the video.
In the video? I think she was trying something African. I think she was trying something African in the video.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else.
It came out well. I'm okay with it.
Without a doubt, the song is very beautiful. She's done a French version. I don't know if you've listened to the edition of French in the Johnny song.
I don't know if the French guys would be looking for Johnny.
Of course they would. So what's happening at the movies?
A lot, and basically what Paz will do is just pick one of the big movies out there and just review it, and a lesson in romance is what we have this week. But I'll just let Solo would jump us to page 15 minutes.
Yeah, which is got some beef. You know what has been happening in the rap industry for a long time, you know, since the days of... Do you listen to rap?
Yes, I do.
You do?
A lot of rap.
Yeah, so who do you prefer, Tupac or Biggie?
Of course, Tupac. More inspirational.
Are you trying to ask her if she was West or East?
Or East or
Kenya, Uganda.
But there's always an attitude in hip-hop where they say that how do you make your opponent the rapper of the moment? And his style, he doesn't own it. He's acting all hard when he hardly can live up to it. So it's all the beat that has been happening in the rap industry. Remember, Kleptomaniacs did Twendele, which was a very commercial song, which was very successful. One of the most successful hits as a group. Ether was the album that Nas did, trying to diss Jay-Z when they had beef back in the day before they started doing business. So Angela Wino has also covered that very well. You remember Hit 'Em Up? That was Tupac, your boy, dissing Biggie.
Hip-hop has always been, let me write on somebody just together, and I think it works for them. Sometimes people don't understand why guys are doing this, but I think it's cool. It's a cool thing when guys just do their thing. And
so do albums sell more when there's beef on either side?
It depends sometimes. It's a strategy. How do your fans receive it? And the other fans as well. And the other people will think you also have skill in dissing, because you cannot diss if you're not good.
True.
Yeah. So.
Because I'll give an example. Again, I'll take you back to Kampala. I'll give an example of artists like Bebe Cool and Bobby Wine. For them, every time they have beef amongst each other, you know, their fans are so obedient that no matter what they say against each other, and it's always about the money.
Yes.
You know, one is dissing the other for not having, you know, any property to his name or any piece of land to his name, and the other is saying, look, your wife is not as beautiful as you thought, or as mine. And you know, that creates the hype, and people start to compare their wives, people start to compare the looks on their kids' faces, and you know, someone will say, okay, fine, you have a beautiful wife, but let's look at the kids, and the kids look totally different.
Like you don't look cool, but your wife is cool, but you don't look cool. But I think the culture of this and stuff in Kenya really has to grow to that level, because artists don't seem to understand when to do beef, because it's just blank, like I don't like so and so today, so you just beef about it, not knowing what this kind of vibe,
the consequences
would
you don't look at the strategy of the market and the industry, how it's going to affect you. You just pick beef with no apparent reason, which could be devastating.
So we need to give a story to the beef and see how it sells our records. Page 18, of course, there is Total Recall, Age of the Ratchet.
The story by Tony Muchama, for that matter, aka Smita, and he's talking about this. And I like the way he just does the intro there. A rat is a rod, and a hatchet is an axe or axe, like something.
Contraption used
that makes a rat
used for cutting.
Yes.
And so
you're saying that a ratchet is like a rat that is trying to cut into society.
A rat.
You're trying to break through.
You know, you have to give it up to Smith when it comes to words and explaining this out.
I just love
a very amazing story about what ratchets have been in this society, their impact, and how also parents was also
be involved in this and stuff. This is the kind of story I just let the readers just to buy the paper and
read it.
If you are those guys who are calling us and you say, I want to be a socialite, because I've had calls like that this week, make me a socialite. I'm thinking, oh, where do you go to school for that? So I think you need to buy the paper and read.
Let's just slowly or quickly talk about the Brazil game. I was a Brazil fan then, and then
until Saba showed up.
It must have been massacred, right?
That was a very embarrassing game.
Well, it never happened. It was bound to happen. It's been
lessons learned.
I think they did like 38 years or something. Without losing at home, but wow, what a loss.
And then we saw, you know, trending hashtags like Neymar while you were away, you know, and this whole thing around Brazilian weaves and Brazilian nails and stuff.
Then there was the Brazil, so and all sort of things, and creative Kenyans. And I was watching. The game is going on, and a lot is happening on our social media. And I just Kenya,
I think sometimes I enjoy watching soccer on Twitter.
On Twitter, because people are hilarious, and you must give it to Kenyans. Kenyans are very creative. You can come up with anything, it will trend, and it will trend worldwide, not just in Kenya. And well, now let's get back to the story of Churchill slapping a waiter. How in the world did that even happen? Is it true?
If it's true, because this guy shows up at Paz or calls Paz and says the same story of beef, and probably this guy wants to become an artist. Probably was beaten and says sorry for the waiter who did this, but he says this is somewhere not in Nairobi. This is at Club 411
in Eldoret.
In Eldoret, and he says Churchill was there with his guys, and they had drinks and they had a bill, and he says they didn't pay, and Churchill's guys come out and say, really, this guy is lying. He wants to cut a name for himself in the industry. And I think Paz just wraps it very nicely. We have both sides of the story, where the guy says, there was a bill. This guy says, no, this guy actually, like many guys would say, and I think that generates another story idea, where celebrities would be somewhere, and you are a big spender, and people probably think you're losing track of your bill, and somebody tops it with another 3,000 on it, and he says, but we had our bill here, we know how much it was, and then you're saying pay a little bit 3,000 more.
But does really Churchill look like the kind of person who would slap anyone at all?
No,
I don't.
In a public place,
especially by the way he laughs. Have you heard Churchill laugh? I don't think
he'll slap anybody. And he says, we paid our bill, we went out. This guy can't follow
He just needs to laugh and scare them away.
I think he laughed, or he did slap. He just laughed or made fun or something. And Ogudo says maybe he slapped him verbally, like
exactly, because he didn't look like the kind of person who would slap anyone.
And we have amazing overheads about STL right there.
Yes.
And another amazing story of how Tanzanians are flocking the Kenyan coast for the film scene.
Right.
And a big story there for Mombasa guys to read, and a lot more. Every gossip in town, I think, is right there.
Has been covered very
So
very
what
nice.
is this about FeedQ wanting a statue of him erected? This is the Tanzanian artist, right?
Yes.
Now that should be Tanzanian way. And he says, I am big enough. I've been here long enough. I have made hits for you guys. Why can't I be the man that should be remembered one day like a maybe
where does he want it placed anywhere? The airport, Arusha? Where exactly?
You know, statues can be placed anywhere, like end of the road, like who even remembers that? I don't know where Solo's statue would be.
I mean, when an artist asks for a statue of himself, what do you expect someone like Desmond Tutu to ask for?
Wow.
To become
but I think let's recognize the artists. Let's make statues for them somewhere in the February.
How many statues are we going to make? Maybe the artists, that's going to be happening.
They can have those statues and place them in their houses.
Beautiful right there. Close it.
Oh, well, we'll take a short break now, and when we return, the Nairobian that you need to grab a copy of, and by the way, get a hold of the Standard and get the pull-out, that is the Pulse, and read all the gossip that is in there, and of course all the pin-ups. STL is on there, Stella Mwangi, so stay with us.
Business offers you the fastest, superior quality internet connection to suit your business needs. For only 15,000 shillings per month, Fiber Business 6 with up to 6 Mbps is designed for small losses of between 11 to 20 users. It is ideal for frequent emailing, moderate web browsing, and light file sharing.
This is Fiber.
Enjoy speeds of up to 100 megabits per second. Fiber, powered by Jamii Telcom.
Be financially ready with Britam, or life will surprise you. Our financial expertise and innovative products help you plan for all stages in life. Britam, with you every step of the way. Britam, with you every step of the way.
Kila pembe, katika kila soko, kila kijiji barani Afrika kunako duka. Ujambo, karibu kwa duka langu. Karibia nikusimulie hadithi. Mimi, Ruth Maingi, mama duka wako. I have been nominated in the Kenya TV and Film Awards, the Kalash, in the category of Best Actress in a TV Drama. Umekuwa ukinitazama hapa KTN, na na uhakika kwamba umekuwa ukimtembelea mama duka wako pale mtaani. I need your vote. Nahitaji kura yako. Najua unashangaa ni vipi unaweza nipigia kura. Nenda kwenye mtandao, log on to Kenya Film Commission, click on submit your vote now. Scroll down to number 25 in the category of Best Lead Actress in a TV Show Award. Click and submit. Basi hivyo, I need your vote. Vote. Nakumbuka, katika kila pembe, kila soko, kila kijiji barani Afrika kunako duka. Na mimi ni mama duka wako.
Saturday, 8 a.m. on Club Kiboko. We showcase your talent. We teach you how to do fun things. We crack your ribs. We know what you want. And we bring it to you. Join Inaya and Ronnie on Club Kiboko.
Saturday, 8 a.m. Stay tuned and don't miss out.
Welcome back. Let's now take a look at the Nairobian. Someone was asking actually what it would take, before we can even cross over, what it would take to be a cover girl of the Pulse. Steven says visit the Facebook page, that is Pulse Kenya, and the Twitter.
The only way to get alive, Pulse Kenya, Twitter. And but for every girl who wants to become a cover girl, there are details of the cover girl, and who takes that, guys, on page 2. I don't do that. We do that. There's a guy who just does that for you. There is no discrepancy on that.
There's no couching onto the cover.
If in Nairobi, just look at the pages and come. But you can call us.
Okay.
The office is open for all of us.
All right.
Pulse is there for all of us.
Let's cross over to the Nairobian. Of course, the Nairobian is that paper that everyone tries to put in the middle of the standard.
You're talking about the red paper again in Uganda.
And then they're like, okay.
I think nowadays people have become bold reading the Nairobian. They only get scared not to be featured in the Nairobian.
And you know, because
we tell it like it is.
Yeah. The most amazing fact about, again, the Nairobian is that ladies feel bold buying the Nairobian now. And it's not a culture of reading that we have seen with ladies with the mainstream papers, I would say. But now guys are like, hey, we'll buy because there's something for us. So maybe it's a culture Nairobian.
And of course, the big story here is State House boss in a child drama.
That's a big story on page 4. And they're saying that the State House comptroller has fathered a kid with a lady who he enjoyed the fruits with some time and gave her,
did you say the fruits?
Taxi money for 18,000 that day. But she was a student by then.
Really, do you guys find this unusual? Because for me, I just don't get it. Because I should just say that in most African countries, people will have a legitimate wife. And somewhere, somehow, secretly, somewhere, there's always someone on the side, but then that person is always on the side.
It's becoming legitimate in Kenya that you have somebody on the side. But it's amazing that she says, I was in school then.
Yes.
And my question has always been, how comes he never brought this story out then? Then
well,
we want us to talk about it.
That is what he's talking about. He's saying that she's trying to extort him now that he's in a big position, but evidently she's provided the birth certificate of the kid, which I think bears
the name. You can see the picture right here, and of course the conversation.
And of course the conversation on smartphones.
Oh. On smartphones.
Smartphones,
Wow. So there's a conversation right there with both of them.
Yeah. So, but he denies. He refutes all these claims, and he says he's ready for a DNA test. So people should grab the Nairobian to get this big story.
I'm just trying to fish out the date when this conversation was happening, but I'm only seeing the time. 3 p.m. in the afternoon, you know.
One of those afternoons. It's just amazing.
I wonder where he was.
It's just amazing, and you know, Solo is this great guy, a writer and stuff. Solo is happening, he's a young man, he makes it to become the president. Then things like this start showing up.
But I just don't get it. Here, the girl is saying he was a very pleasant gentleman who knew how to make a girl feel great.
So she enjoyed the job.
So exactly, does it mean that when we'll get to a point where we're seeing, okay, that this guy is now doing very well? Great. So can I just extort some money from him?
Now it happens a lot. I mean, it happens a lot even in the big stories where even celebrities have been extorted in the same way.
Right.
And politicians have been known, especially in Africa, they've been known to be scandalized and having relationships and kids out of wedlock.
It's a very interesting story. If you get
nobody comes out when you're broke.
You'll be able to read it.
Nobody comes out when you're broke. So when you're broke, you can happen.
So I think when you're starting from the bottom, we should be thinking about when you get there.
So this business of declaring wealth, I think we need to go very slow on it, because when someone gets to realize,
and again, probably it's a question of a lady just saying, Solo in 2-3 years will become this potential guy. Let me hang on here with him and make money then.
If you have dreams of becoming successful, then you should start cutting out on this. Otherwise, the Nairobian is going to catch up with you.
Wow. And 10 facts. The 10 facts about the 2014 World Cup. Fantastic.
Yes, this is a very interesting one by
John Lawrence.
Yeah. And he's talking about some of those excuses and some of those annoying habits that we've been having in when people are watching World Cup. You know about the sleepover? The sleepover is very notorious. Is when if you're married or you have a girlfriend or something, you can give an excuse that you're watching. I'm watching soccer at Steve.
It was happening late at night. I mean, how do you come home
actually playing soccer with
considerably knowing that, you know, ladies don't know much about football.
Yes, and also pointless analysis. You know, those guys who just keep talking when the game is going on. Argentina, who you get up at a coach. You know, the way people...
in those funny plays.
Pointless analysis, and even sometimes they've resulted into fights and even death.
I like that advert where the chick just comes out and she's so clueless.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. The one who thought the game is
over. Who won? And
I think it's a girl's thing.
It's an amazing 10 facts about the World Cup. And I think Lawrence does a great job.
And online being on fire as well, social media today is just the flame that everyone can't miss out on. Everybody seems to have logged onto Facebook, Twitter, and everyone seems to be giving updates.
We have a lot of online journalists.
Like we're all not watching the game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And again, like he says, number 7 there, the notorious Jiranis. I mean, you guys are enjoying the game at 2 in the morning.
2 a.m.
Everybody so asleep
and singing,
what is going on there?
And consuming all the drinks that we can in the fridge. And then the neighbor next door is probably Mutudo diehard. So
the soccer blondes. I just love the number 5 soccer blondes. It's just interesting.
Yeah, and we have many of them.
Yeah, but they're awesome to watch.
There are other
when someone starts to ask you, is Liverpool playing the World Cup?
Yeah.
Okay.
Arambe stars, when are they starting to play? Amazing.
Arambe stars, seriously, in the World Cup. Come on, Stephen.
Who took them there?
Yeah, they were there.
They're thinking, so when are they playing?
When are they playing? So they just went there to watch the game.
Friendly or something.
There's another interesting story on page 9. A lady who says, I was raped and fired. Expatriate sacks house help 3 weeks after armed thugs raped her in an upmarket Lavington suburb.
Yes. A very
sad,
unfortunate story of an expatriate who was driving home in Lavington. Then as the house help went to open the gate, some men came in, raped and sodomized her. They went to ransack the house and all that. She was given a 2 weeks leave, but then after that, the expatriate traveled and apparently has been ignoring calls and everything. But he claims that he never was planning to sack her and all that. So it's a sad story, but it's been nicely expressed right here in the Nairobi. I think people can put more on that. It's very unfortunate though.
Has she gone to court? Has this taken over to law? Because now this Nairobian would say, but probably it's not been taken to the other right channel. Well,
it's not getting there, and that's why we have a subtitle here saying who is fooling who, because there's a different story from her and there's a different story from her employer as well. Yes.
Page 12, the killer women of Kabete, red-thighed ladies. Kabete has the highest concentration of widows whose husbands are believed to have died under unclear circumstances. Like, is this like a planned death?
There was always a theme about it. I don't know. Okay, we are getting more regional and all that, but there was always a myth about Kabete women, and many kids who were being brought up in our days and even older than us used to be warned about women from Kabete. They were told to be very sly, go-getters, gold-getters, and they can even kill you for property. And they're said to be very, you know, they have that rangiathao, you know, like you.
Like you?
Like me?
Yeah, like you. Rangiathao. You don't get what I'm saying?
No.
And she gets, but she doesn't get.
Yeah, I get, but then I don't get.
They're brown. They're said to be brown and very appealing to men.
Yeah.
So they easily go. The rich men also can easily get them, and before you know it, you fall into the trap. So they're called the killer women of Kabete. And the story has been elaborated, and it's people now to decide.
It has some history.
It has a history for a long time.
It's just amazing that
it goes back in time.
I remember former Attorney General Charles Jonjo had promised and vowed he will never marry a
woman from Kabete. So Solo is not marrying any woman from Kabete. Is that like stereotyping sort of kind of? Like you guys, you are not cool like that.
Well, there's also a lot that is happening. If you go on to page 23, you'll find, of course, a lot of what's happening. Yeah, Kate McKay's page right there, where she talks about a producer who turns down socialites' lunch invite.
But you know, there's a story, I think, a couple
how would you even describe the status of socialites in Kenya?
It's what I was talking about some minutes ago. On Tuesday, I get this call from this girl in Mombasa. Yeah, I know they're watching and listening, but it's a bit annoying sometimes. And she says, I want Paz to make me a socialite.
There's nothing like, there's no school like socialite. There's no certificate for socialism.
I'm saying like who? And says like Vera Sidika. I'm thinking, oh, Vera Sidika should start a school then.
Yeah, but I think socialites are known to be those people like probably online who try too hard. You know?
Are they like the party animals?
They could be trying to be party animals. They want to hang out with the best people. They want to take photos, and they could also take raunchy photos.
Well, I know that they're more popular on Instagram, probably because of the kind of pictures that they post on there.
Exactly.
We have online socialites, we have socializers. It was known back years ago. And I think we have to define the Kenyan socialite end of the day now, because it seems like these guys are pushing us to a new culture. We are here and we're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
They start a movement of here to soon and so on and so. But K also talks about Sonko's daughters being locked out of Carnival. Last Saturday. And she explains they are underage, and a beautiful Sandra and Salma could not be allowed in because
you know the daughter is
like
in
16, 17, 19.
The daughter is in JQuat. And they were going for Miss JQuat at the Carnival, but she dragged along the siblings who are much younger.
They're always out there.
So by the time the bouncers knew who they exactly were, they had been frozen.
There's a bunch of clubs around, of course, that do host a number of underaged youths. But then it seems that lately they're the ones spending the money.
They're the ones in the clubs, actually. The underages are
they're always in the club. Always in the club.
And it's, unless you really ask for that ID, you would hardly know that this girl is below 18. Because, hey. So talks about himself and Governor Mutua. And there was a story last week about these guys who cancelled their flights for international show because they were going for Governor Mutua's wife's party. And the story was that he paid them
to cancel
that.
To cut short their trip.
And they come out telling Kate, no, that was a lie. Whoever said that.
They just said they were doing a favor for a long-term friend.
There's something about where Ngilu wore green, old school. Interesting if you look at the flashback.
That's Bush. Bush is Alliance Girls. Where the students were wearing green. So they're showing all the people who went through there. You know, from Honorable Charity Ngilu, former First Lady Lucy Kibaki, and also Olive Mugenda. All of them, all the students who went there, and they're talking about the school and from its humble beginnings.
All right, there's a great pictorial fashion as well on page 30. If you could take time and go through it, you'll be able to get some fashion sense on there. And of course, Esther Arunga made me give up on God. That's her ex-boyfriend.
Yes, that was Wilson Malaba. He came into the spotlight when, you remember the Finger of God? And then there was all that scandal. Our sister Esther Arunga, they were dating. It was a very private affair, but then after the whole scandal and them coming into the picture, they had to break up, and he says he started viewing life in a different perspective. He was a very safe guy back then. But
really, how do you stop viewing life in terms of religious matters because of an individual if you know the fundamentals of the religion? And over there, I think these are just, come on, guy, he's our friend. I mean, just be who you want to be, but I don't think really.
What he's talking about is like, you know, that particular time when that happened, you know, he had businesses and all that, and because
many
of the
cars,
scandals,
I remember which
exactly, and so people did not want to associate with him, do business with him, so you know, he almost like gave up on all that religion.
I believe you can go back to God and say, let's start from where we stop.
It's never too late, Wilson. It's never too late.
All right, guys, I think we're out of time. Mariga has an interesting story.
Yes.
He'll marry soon. I wish he had said he would marry when he wants.
Oh, the ladies now. This one is a heartbreaker for the ladies.
Yeah.
So,
what you know, Mariga, What's your take on Mariga?
Well, I know that he is Kenyan. I know he's a very great player. I try to follow his life and all that, but I'm not really concerned much about his personal life, especially when it comes to whether or not he's about to marry. That's why I'm saying I wish he had said he would marry when he was.
It's amazing that you're not.